Picture this. You just dropped $70,000 on a brand new Ford truck, the kind loaded with digital dashboards, adaptive cruise control, self-parking sensors, and a twin-turbo engine wrapped in more computer code than the space shuttle. You feel like a king rolling into your driveway. Then, 6 months later, a tiny module glitches out, your infotainment screen freezes, or your transmission throws a fault code nobody at the dealership can even translate. Suddenly, that $70,000 truck is sitting dead in a service bay for weeks, sometimes months, while techs scratch their heads staring at diagnostic screens that make about as much sense as ancient hieroglyphics. Here's the brutal truth nobody in the auto industry wants to say out loud. Modern trucks have become rolling computers, stuffed with more lines of software than a fighter jet, and the mechanics who actually understand this stuff are vanishing faster than dealerships can hire them. We are not talking about a minor inconvenience here. We are talking about a full-blown crisis quietly spreading across Ford service centers nationwide, and it is only getting worse. Let's rewind for a second. 20 years ago, if your truck broke down, your local mechanic popped the hood, listened to the engine, checked a few belts, maybe replaced a sensor, and sent you on your way in an afternoon. Today's Ford trucks are an entirely different beast. We're talking hundreds of millions of lines of software, dozens of interconnected computer modules, and wiring harnesses so complex that one wrong connection can send the entire vehicle into a digital meltdown. Your truck isn't just a truck anymore. It's basically a smartphone with wheels, and just like your phone, when something goes wrong deep in the software, good luck finding someone who can actually fix it instead of just restarting it and hoping for the best. Now here's where it gets even scarier. The generation of mechanics who grew up wrenching on carburetors and building engines with their bare hands is retiring, and fast. Meanwhile, the new generation coming up isn't exactly lining up to become technicians. Trade schools are struggling to fill seats, young people are being pushed toward college degrees instead of hands-on technical careers, and dealerships are left scrambling, trying to recruit talent for a job that requires the skills of an electrical engineer, a software developer, and a traditional mechanic all rolled into one person. That combination is incredibly rare, and it is not getting easier to find. So what happens when there simply aren't enough qualified technicians to service these insanely complex trucks? You get exactly what we're seeing right now. Service bays backed up for weeks, customers sleeping in rental cars because their brand new truck is stuck in diagnostic limbo, dealerships quietly admitting they don't have anyone on staff who can actually solve certain software related issues, and in some horror story cases, trucks are being labeled essentially unfixable, not because the problem is impossible to solve, but because nobody physically available has the expertise to solve it. Think about how insane that is. You spent your hard-earned money buying one of the most expensive trucks on the market, expecting cutting-edge technology and premium reliability, and instead you're stuck holding a vehicle that might as well be a paperweight because the technician shortage has left your local dealership without a single person capable of diagnosing your issue. And this isn't some isolated horror story from one unlucky owner in one random town. Forums are exploding with Ford truck owners sharing eerily similar nightmares. Someone in Texas says their F-150 Lightning sat for over a month waiting on a battery module diagnosis because the dealership had to fly in a specialist from another state. Someone in Ohio says their Super Duty's wiring harness fried itself and the shop kept telling them the part was on back order with no delivery date in sight. Someone in California says they were quoted 3 different diagnoses from 3 different technicians and none of them actually fixed the problem. Multiply these stories by thousands, and you start to see the real shape of this crisis. It isn't a few unlucky trucks slipping through the cracks. It's a systemic failure baked into the entire service model. Here's something most people don't realize. Dealerships aren't just short on bodies, they're short on trained bodies. Ford's own certification programs for high-voltage EV systems and advanced driver assistance technology take months to complete, and many existing technicians simply haven't gone through them yet because the demand for these certifications outpace the ability to train people fast enough. So even when a dealership has a full staff on paper, that doesn't mean anyone there is actually certified to touch your specific truck's specific problem. You could have 10 mechanics standing around your vehicle and still be told nobody's allowed to work on it yet. And let's talk about the tools for a second, because this part rarely gets mentioned. Every time Ford rolls out a new model with a new set of computer modules, dealerships need updated diagnostic equipment and software software licenses just to read what's wrong. That equipment isn't cheap, and it isn't instantly available everywhere. Smaller dealerships, especially in rural areas, often can't justify the investment for a handful of exotic EV trucks or high-tech Super Duty models that rarely roll through their lot. So your truck sits there, not because the problem is unsolvable, but because the specific scanner or software update needed to even diagnose it hasn't made its way to that location yet. Now, stack another problem on top of this. Parts shortages. Even when a technician correctly diagnoses the issue, digital modules for these trucks are often sourced from a limited number of suppliers, and supply chains are still catching up from years of disruption. So you might get lucky and find the one mechanic who understands your problem, only to be told the exact module needed to fix it won't arrive for 6 to 8 weeks. It's like winning the lottery and immediately losing the ticket. Put all of this together, and you start to understand why some Ford owners are genuinely calling their trucks unfixable. It's not that engineers designed something impossible to repair. It's that the entire ecosystem supporting these vehicles, the training, the tools, the parts, the staffing, simply hasn't caught up to the blistering pace of technological advancement crammed into every new model. Ford, like every major manufacturer, is racing to add more computer power, more driver assistance features, more electric powertrain complexity, all while the human infrastructure needed to service these innovations lags dangerously behind. So let's zoom into what this actually looks like on the ground, because the numbers behind this shortage are honestly staggering. Industry reports have been warning for years that the country needs tens of thousands of additional automotive technicians annually just to keep pace with retirements, and that gap keeps widening every single year. Now factor in that modern trucks require an entirely new skill set layered on top of traditional mechanical knowledge, and you realize the shortage isn't just a numbers problem. It's a skills problem. You can't just hire more bodies and expect the backlog to clear. You need highly specialized bodies, and those take years to train properly. Think about what it actually takes to become qualified on one of these advanced Ford platforms. A technician needs to understand high-voltage battery systems well enough to avoid electrocuting themselves. They need to understand radar and camera calibration for driver assistance systems accurate down to fractions of a degree. They need to understand engine control software, transmission software, infotainment software, and how all of these systems talk to each other through a nervous system of wiring that spans the entire vehicle. One misdiagnosed module can cascade into a dozen new problems if the tech doesn't fully understand how interconnected everything has become. This isn't a job you can learn in a weekend seminar. This is closer to years of specialized education, and dealerships are competing furiously for the tiny pool of people who actually have it. And here's the kicker that makes this whole situation even more frustrating for owners. Even when you do find a technician capable of handling your truck's issue, they're often overloaded with a backlog of other customers experiencing the exact same problem. So even a perfectly qualified expert becomes a bottleneck simply because there's only one of them and hundreds of trucks needing attention. Imagine being a doctor in a hospital where you're the only surgeon capable of performing a specific operation, and patients are lining up out the door. That's essentially what's happening in Ford service departments right now, except the patients are $70,000 trucks and the surgery is figuring out why a battery management module keeps throwing a phantom fault code. Owners are left with brutal choices. Do you wait it out, potentially for months, hoping your truck eventually gets fixed? Do you pay out of pocket for an independent specialist, if you can even find one who's willing to touch a vehicle this complex without official manufacturer support? Or do you accept the financial hit and try to offload a truck that's barely a year old? Watching its resale value crater the moment word gets out that certain models are earning a reputation for being nightmare to service? None of these options feel good, and all of them stem from the same root issue, an industry that innovated faster than it staffed. And this problem isn't going to magically solve itself as EV adoption accelerates. Ford is pushing harder into electric trucks, hybrid powertrains, and increasingly autonomous driving features, which means the complexity curve isn't flattening out, it's climbing even steeper. Every new generation of technology requires an entirely fresh wave of technician training, and that training pipeline is already straining under current demand. So unless something changes dramatically in how the industry recruits, trains, and retains technical talent, this backlog isn't going away. If anything, it's poised to get significantly worse before it gets better. So who's actually paying the price while this crisis quietly unfolds behind dealership doors? It's not the executives approving new tech features for next year's lineup. It's not the marketing teams filming glossy commercials showing trucks gliding effortlessly through mud and snow. It's the everyday buyer, the person who worked overtime for years to finally afford their dream truck, now stuck making loan payments on a vehicle sitting untouched in a service bay collecting dust. That's the part that stings the most. You're still paying interest every single month on a truck you can't even drive, watching your bank account drain for a vehicle that's essentially become an extremely expensive lawn ornament. And let's talk about loaner vehicles for a second, because that's supposed to be the safety net, right? In theory, if your truck is in the shop for an extended repair, the dealership hooks you up with a loaner so your life doesn't grind to a halt. In practice, loaner fleets are stretched painfully thin right now, partly because so many vehicles are stuck in these exact same diagnostic limbo situations. So owners are being told there's simply nothing available, leaving them to rent a vehicle out of pocket, borrow a family member's car, or rearrange their entire work schedule around not having reliable transportation. For someone who bought a truck specifically because they need it for towing, hauling, or getting to a job site, this isn't a minor inconvenience, it's a genuine disruption to their livelihood. Social media has become the unofficial support group for frustrated owners trading horror stories and comparing notes. People are posting screenshots of service tickets that have been open for over 90 days. People are sharing photos of their trucks parked in dealership lots covered in dust and pollen because nobody's touched them in weeks. Some owners have even started organizing informally, sharing which dealerships have tech certified on specific systems, essentially creating word-of-mouth networks because official channels aren't giving them reliable answers. When customers have to build their own underground information network just to get basic clarity on repair timelines, that's a massive red flag that something structural is broken. And here's a detail that makes this even more infuriating for owners. Many of these issues aren't catastrophic mechanical failures in the traditional sense. We're not talking about blown engines or shattered transmissions. Often it's something relatively small in isolation, a faulty sensor, a software glitch, a wiring connector that wasn't seated properly at the factory. The kind of problem that, 20 years ago, a competent mechanic could diagnose and fix in an afternoon with basic tools and experience. Today, that same seemingly minor issue can spiral into a multi-week ordeal purely because of how deeply integrated and computer-dependent everything has become. The irony is almost painful. The trucks got smarter, but fixing them got dramatically harder. And that trade-off is landing squarely on the shoulders of everyday customers who just wanted a reliable vehicle for their money. Dealerships aren't oblivious to this frustration either. Service advisors are catching heat daily from angry customers demanding updates they simply don't have. Many advisors have admitted off the record that they're just as much in the dark as the customer, waiting on word from specialized technical hotlines or regional Ford support teams who themselves are overwhelmed handling similar cases from dealerships across the country. When even the people working inside the system feel powerless to speed things up, you know the problem runs far deeper than any single dealership's staffing decisions. So is there any actual solution on the horizon, or are we just watching a slow motion collision between rapid fire innovation and a workforce that can't keep pace? The honest answer is, it's complicated, but there are a few things happening that could eventually ease the pressure, even if relief isn't coming as fast as frustrated owners would like. Ford has been ramping up investment in specialized training programs, trying to fast-track technicians through certification for EV systems and advanced driver assistance technology. Some of these programs partner directly with community colleges and trade schools, offering accelerated pathways specifically designed to funnel new talent straight into dealership service departments. The idea is solid on paper: get people trained faster, get them certified faster, get them onto the floor faster. The problem is that even accelerated training still takes real time, and dealerships need technicians solving problems today, not 18 months from now when the next graduating class finally gets certified. There's also a growing push toward remote diagnostic support, where a highly specialized technician sitting in one location can remotely access a vehicle's computer systems and guide a less experienced local tech through the repair process in real time. Think of it like a specialist surgeon walking a rural doctor through a complex procedure over video call. This approach has genuine promise because it doesn't require every single dealership to have a fully certified expert on site. Instead, expertise gets distributed virtually, spreading scarce knowledge across a much wider network of locations. It won't solve every problem, especially ones requiring hands-on physical repairs, but for software-related diagnostics, it could dramatically cut down wait times if implemented widely enough. Some independent shops are also stepping up to fill the gap, though this comes with real risk. A handful of specialized garages have started investing heavily in the exact same diagnostic tools dealerships use, training their own staff on modern EV and hybrid systems, essentially positioning themselves as an alternative to the overwhelmed dealership network. For owners desperate enough, this can feel like a lifeline. But it's not without complications, since warranty work often needs to go through official dealership channels, and using an independent shop for certain repairs could jeopardize coverage depending on the specific issue and your state's laws. It's a workaround, not a perfect fix, but it shows the market is at least attempting to adapt. There's also quiet pressure building on manufacturers themselves to simplify certain systems, or at least make them more diagnosable without requiring an advanced engineering degree. Some engineers within the industry have begun questioning whether every feature crammed into these trucks is actually necessary, or whether manufacturers got a little too aggressive stacking complexity on top of complexity purely to win a technology arms race against competitors. It's a fair question. Does your truck really need 17 interconnected computer modules controlling comfort features? Or did engineering ambition outpace practical serviceability? These conversations are happening more frequently in industry circles, though meaningful change, if it comes at all, will likely take years to filter down into actual production vehicles. For everyday truck owners caught in the middle of this mess right now, there are practical steps that can at least improve your odds of avoiding a multi-month nightmare, even if they can't guarantee a perfect outcome. Before buying any modern Ford, especially the higher-end electric or hybrid variants, it's worth actually calling around to nearby dealerships and asking point blank whether they have certified technicians on staff for that specific model systems. Most buyers never think to ask this question until after something breaks. But a 5-minute phone call before you sign the paperwork can save you months of frustration down the road. If the dealership hesitates or gives you a vague non-answer, that hesitation is itself valuable information. It's also worth researching how a specific truck's most common software and electrical issues have played out for other owners before you commit to a purchase. Owner forums, enthusiast groups, and even comment sections on review videos are gold mines of real-world information that manufacturers won't volunteer. If you notice a pattern of the same module failing across dozens of different owners, that's not a coincidence, that's a known weak point. And knowing about it ahead of time lets you make an informed decision rather than an emotional one standing on a dealership lot admiring shiny paint and a touchscreen the size of a tablet. Extended warranties deserve a second look too, though not blindly. Read the fine print carefully, because some extended coverage plans explicitly exclude certain software or electrical components. Precisely the parts most likely to fail on these hyper-computerized trucks. Paying extra for a warranty that doesn't actually cover your most probable point of failure is money wasted. Ask direct questions, get everything in writing, and don't let a finance manager rush you through paperwork without fully understanding what is and isn't protected. If you already own one of these trucks and you're currently stuck in a repair backlog, documentation becomes your best friend. Keep detailed records of every phone call, every promised timeline, every service ticket update. If your dealership keeps pushing back estimated completion dates without explanation, that paper trail becomes valuable leverage. Whether you're negotiating a loaner vehicle, pushing for a case escalation with corporate, or simply trying to hold someone accountable for months of silence,